Right, guys, how was your day? This is really challenging for me. I've been fasting today and dieting throughout the weeks and months. As some of you know, you see me post on Instagram. I'm doing it as a two-way challenge, two goals. So initially in 2017, when I had a mental breakdown and I was in hospital and I wasn't well, and I was overweight and I was on medication and I was depressed. I wasn't working. Obviously, I couldn't work because I was unwell. As I started to get a bit more relaxed in hospital and get the help, it just come to me. I set myself a goal that I was going to motivate a lot of people on this channel, people that follow me, clients, new people, motivate men uh, specifically to get in shape, to get into the gym, enjoy the gym, train, make it a lifestyle, and to later on improve their diet. And I was going to, set an example, lose weight, get myself in shape. And, I've achieved a big part of that goal. I still don't feel completely satisfied because there's obviously a long way to go yet. So I'm proud that I've lost about 25 pounds. I know it was a long time ago, but we had the COVID interruption that kind of broke the momentum. So I've stuck at this goal, and now I'm at a point where I've made a lot of progress myself. And the second goal is starting to be achieved, which is other people that follow me on social media that know me. If they want to, they're getting inspired. They're going to the gym. They're improving their lifestyle because all this stuff improves your mental health, your confidence, as a lot of you know, every area. So it's one of the habits that helps you to be successful in life. But for some reason today, I feel really challenged because it's been a great week. I've been coaching a lot, working, and I think I always find Fridays difficult because on the weekends, it's usually chill out time, have snacks, and I don't want to do that. I'm working on more discipline. So today feels very hard to speak with no food in me. I've had a bit of coffee, but at the same time, I know this is how you grow, and there is an excitement. So I'm going to see how long I can do this stream and help people talk, ask questions. Even though there's a part of me that doesn't want to do this live stream, I want to eat some food. I'm trying to hold out till I'll eat. I'll start eating my first meal from 8 o'clock tonight, even a bit longer if I can. So it's really challenging. Some days it's easy to fast, depends how you feel, what you're doing, and other days it's really challenging. So if you guys got any questions, you can put it in the box and also let me know if there's anything else I can help you with the progress that you've made. Now I know why when you do this stuff, um, you start appreciating other people that are in shape. Not just six packs and muscles, but the discipline it takes, especially if you've been eating a bad diet for a long time with sugary snacks, cakes, chocolates, even drinking alcohol, whatever it may be. When you start practicing fasting, the cravings start coming up, and it does make you appreciate many things, and it also shows you where your bad habits are with regards to eating the wrong foods. Um, what I've been doing lately, which has been great to give more value on this channel, after I do a coaching session with a client, or after I go gym, or I spend time with friends, I go off on my own and I get a coffee and I do some reflecting and I do some writing. Most of the writing that I do are, things that I'm learning that clients struggle with, that I help them to succeed with, questions on the channel, bit of reflection, things that I learn along my journey. And I like to do the writing and then read it out on the channel because there's loads of truth in the writing and it's coming from real experience, from taking action, being disciplined, challenging myself and the things that I learn as I'm going along. Yeah, personally for me, I find physical training easy because I enjoy it. Like going gym, doing weights, for me, it's a treat. It's like a reward. Boxing, I love it. Swimming, but the dieting long term, and see, there's dieting and there's dieting. You can start dieting and eating healthy, which is great, but when you start getting more and more strict on your eating habits and cutting out sugars, or you know cutting out the late night snacks, that's when it starts to get challenging. And the dieting for me is way harder. I feel like physical training, I know obviously depending on how heavy you lift weights and how much you push in swimming or running, I get that. But generally, I find the dieting is way harder. Like it's much harder to practice. Um, it's much more difficult to not feed the cravings when you feel like eating chocolate bars, or you feel like getting a takeaway, burgers or chips or Nando's or McDonald's or KFC, or just packets of crisps or a bit of sugar in an energy drink, or a Coke. That is way harder than going to the gym and doing a physical workout. Because truth be known, and I've done it as well. Even my friend said this. I've got quite a few friends that are personal trainers. You see many people in gyms and they really do train their arse off. They train hard, but then they come out the gym, and I've done this myself many times, and then they eat bad food. They eat a hamburger, or they eat loads of cakes or sweets, and they end up kind of. It's sad, really, because it's like the whole purpose of going to a gym and training is to really live a healthier lifestyle. So, yeah, you go to the gym, you succeed in doing that, brilliant. But then you come out of the gym and then you put junk food in your body, which is kind of like ruining everything. Like that's the way I see it. And there was a long period I was doing that and I was in denial. So I was going to the gym. I was going to the gym and was doing those successful habits. I felt really good about myself. And then you don't realize that your cravings get the better of you and then you're eating junk food. Well, that hasn't happened to me for a long time. But yeah, of course, that's happened to me, years ago when I was younger, and that does happen. I know it's not nice, but it is life. And although it can be disappointing if you meet a girl or a woman and she's interested, then when you text her, but you've got to move on. You've got to accept um, that she's not interested for whatever reason. So you've got to move on. But I do understand it's not easy. But that's why I say on this channel, and obviously I don't know if you're doing this, so I've got to presume that you're not. If you are, tell me. I encourage guys to work on their life, not rely on girls or women or anybody for your happiness, because you're at some point you always get disappointed if you rely on other people, but you can rely on yourself. So going to the gym, dieting, etc. My girlfriend broke up with me. Please tell me what I should do. First of all, honestly, I'm compassionate. It's such a difficult thing. I was saying this to a friend the other day, and I said, you know what? I've been coaching guys in the area of confidence for a long time, and anyone that goes through a breakup, I am really compassionate. It's not an easy thing. If you look at most of the advice online, or anyone, again, it's life. It happens to all of us. You've just really got to focus on yourself, moving forward, getting support. If you've got friends you can talk to, family. I don't know how recent your breakup is. If you could tell me a bit more, then I could help you a bit more. Guys, please do excuse me if I seem a bit moody or I lack patience today. It's because I'm fasting, and I'm it's hard. I've not eaten any food today, and I've had two coffees. I've been up early. I did a coaching session with a client that I really enjoyed. We had a great session, and I've done a lot of walking, so I'm tired. Um, I'm hungry. I want to eat food. I don't want to be on the live stream right now, but I'm overriding it. I want to challenge myself. I want to continue to help you guys and to stick to this diet plan. All right. Okay. Do you know what, guys? Bear with me, right? I'm gonna get some water, and it will help me to because I don't want to get a headache. Right. Okay. Okay. No, I'm not doing it for that reason. I'm just I'm doing intermittent fasting. So obviously there's different types of fasting. I'm not an expert on fasting. I'm learning it, but the intermittent fasting is basically um, well, yesterday and the day before, um, I won't eat any food until 8 p.m. tonight. But I had two coffees. So some people would say, well, that's not proper fasting because you had coffee, which I'd agree on, but it's still fasting compared to what I usually do. So it's more intermittent fasting, and I'm enjoying the challenge of it. So that's the fasting that I'm doing, and also within the fasting, I'm eating healthy as consistently as possible because I want to help more people on this platform and motivate and inspire people, and it's a good challenge as well. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Well, when you fast, you appreciate many things in life. You appreciate food. You appreciate what we have. And I'm starting to see um, the deeper reason behind the fasting. So on a surface level, yeah, it's great because if you train and you diet, you get in shape. You might get a six pack. You might get muscles. That's great. But what's more important is it improves your character and it makes you appreciate life and having food and the basic things that a lot of the times we don't appreciate because we're human. We're not perfect, and we get used to having these things. And um, yeah, it's not the first. I'm sure at some point all of us didn't always have the luxury of having food all the time, or maybe we did. So it makes you appreciate that, and it builds mental toughness. Yeah, I wrote this thing to. I'm just having a look where I'm going to read it in a bit. Wow, this is really hard. My energy levels are crashing. For me, I find it hardest on weekends. I think most people are like that. In fact, I know most people are because it's just human nature, you work hard, and then when the weekend comes, especially where I live in London, a lot of people are out partying, so you just get that. It's a tendency to think, right, it's the weekend, and I want to eat, cakes and sweets and chocolates and watch television, and that's why I find it more challenging on the weekend, especially if you've been training all through the week, being disciplined, and eating clean. Which is fair enough if people want to have a cheat meal here and there, and I do it. But if you really want to be disciplined and getting the best shape physically, mentally, and emotionally, and be the best version of yourself, then it would be better to cut out the snacks on the weekend. But again, it depends on each and everyone's particular goals and what you want to achieve. Everyone's going to have their own standards and their own opinion on what is the right way to go about it. I'll tell you what though, when you fast and you eat the food, it tastes amazing, man. You just appreciate like every bit of it. Whereas when you don't fast and you don't eat healthy, you just stuff yourself whenever you want, it just makes you miserable and depressed here. So a big part of this for me is about um, appreciation and gratitude, not just for food, but for everything, yourself, other people. I'm going quite deep, but this has been said before I was alive, and people that have got experience. And, this is the realization that I'm coming to through the discipline of setting goals in life in general, but specifically with cutting out the junk food, exercising regularly, disciplining yourself, and doing the intermittent fasting, where you don't eat for up until a certain time. For me, fasting as well, it's not just about, well, I'm going to starve myself all day and then stuff my face full of food. It's also the quality of food. And that's another challenging part as well. Especially when when you're walking in these big cities and every single block that you walk past is takeaway food. They don't make it easy for people to eat healthy when pretty much every single block that you walk down and building and shop is full of junk food. So that's why you appreciate even more when you're in a world and you're in cities where you're constantly being reminded and tempted and encouraged to eat bad food. And if you can discipline yourself to not do that and eat healthy, then you just go to another level. Yeah, I always had a respect for people who are disciplined, especially on their diet and their eating. But I tell you what, my respect has grown even more now. I'm doing it. I'm facing the challenges. I'm appreciating, you know, um, people that are just, especially people, not just people that are like in amazing shape and discipline, but people that have been really overweight and they've had no discipline and they've changed. Something's changed in them and they've gone through that life-changing experience and they've like they've dedicated months or years, and then you see the transformation from when they were overweight to when they get in shape. And again, when I'm saying in shape, I don't just mean someone that's overweight and then they become really ripped. I mean that to some degree. I'm on about they just change, their whole mindset changes, and you see the difference. And that's what would make me even more happier to make this transformation and to inspire other people to physically do the same. Like, and I know I'm doing that, but I want to do it on a bigger level. Right. I'm really trying to build the strength to read this out. Get your questions in, guys. I'll always do the best I can to answer them. And if I don't have the answer, then I won't answer them. So I'll do the best I can. Yeah, I just want to say, I always say it. I appreciate all the support from you guys on all the platforms, all the videos, the live streams, the videos throughout the years. It's what can I say? It's hard to put it into words, but it is brilliant. It does motivate me to um, want to keep facing my fears and putting more content out to help more people with their confidence, especially guys who suffer with social anxiety and depression, to get them out of that place, get them in a good place. Right. If you guys haven't got any questions, I'm going to read this out. And I wrote this today. This is a collection of conversations I've had with people, some of my own processing them from you guys. Hold on. Because I get questions all the time from guys struggling about this. So, anyway, social anxiety. Too much time alone is not good for your mental health. To state the obvious, when you spend too much time alone, you start to get bored and your mind will start to focus on negative things and your problems. Then you're likely to start worrying about the future. Then you can't enjoy and appreciate the present moment. The more time you spend alone, the harder it becomes to motivate yourself to go out and socialize with people. This is one of the things which creates social anxiety and depression. This is what can make a lot of men feel extremely lonely and isolated from the world. Now, of course, it's really good to be able to enjoy your own company and not depend on other people to make you feel good. Obviously, that's great. However, there is a distinction and there is a healthy balance between spending too much time on your own and not socializing, as opposed to socializing too much and relying and getting addicted on other people to make you feel good. If you socialize too much, you can get addicted to external validation. Then that, of course, can become a negative thing. It's the same in reverse with regards to if you spend too much time alone and you don't socialize, that can also become a negative thing. Negative thoughts and emotions tend to come on strong when you're alone for too much time and you start to overthink about everything. So when you socialize with like-minded people or positive people, family, friends, etc., it's very good for your mental health, your confidence, your self-esteem. For many reasons, one of which you get to come outside of your own head, your own problems. You get to focus on connecting with other people, where you can talk about new topics as opposed to the negative, repetitive conversation and the story that you tell you in your own mind. It tends to be harder today for people to motivate themselves to come off of social media and socialize with people in person. The addiction to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube has taken people's attention away, and people have become like robots, completely unconscious of what they're doing in most cases. And this is where people become addicted to negative things. So, obviously, real relationships, human connection, physical activities, traveling, exercising, dieting, dancing, things like that. These are the things that generally make people happy. Yet a lot of people fail to realize these things because they become fearful and unmotivated and addicted to the machines. Sometimes we need to suffer enough to realize that something in our life needs to change. And that always really comes down to taking responsibility and being accountable for our own lives. Most people overcomplicate happiness because they allow themselves to fall into the addiction of negative thinking. How I'm reading this and how I'm doing this with no food in me, God only knows. Right. Social media can be a positive thing if you've got the right balance with regards to the amount of time you spend socializing with your family, your friends, your loved ones, new people, events, possibly your coach. So yeah, if you get the balance right, which I feel that I have most days, where you're socializing, let's say, for example, 50% of the time in your life, you're socializing with your friends, your family, your girlfriend, or you're dating, or a group of people you get along with, and the other 50% you're on social media. That can be pretty good. Yeah, so I spoke about discipline, awareness, motivation, courage, and confidence. These are the things that it takes to get the balance right. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I know I'm stating the obvious, but it's good to get it out loud because I can't even tell you the amount of people that have said this to me, what I've wrote there, that they've realized this. But I think, you know, realizing it is one step, but if you don't do nothing about it, then obviously nothing's going to change. And that's why I started creating the confidence meetups for men to help them, with mental health and confidence to get out of the house, meet people, even for a couple of hours, have a coffee. It gives you so much confidence, and then you feel better because you've come out the house, you've socialized, you've got that connection with people. And then it feels good to go back home, and then you can go on social media. So I'm connecting on what I'm saying. So what does fasting and dieting and training got to do with social anxiety, confidence, habits, and success? Well, it's got everything to do. They all connect with one another. If you build discipline and you exercise regularly and you diet, you feel good about yourself. Therefore, it's easier to overcome your fear of leaving the house and socializing with friends, family, new people, because you're in good shape mentally and emotionally. So that's my point. Hopefully, people get it. Get your questions in, guys. I'm taking my time with this stream. If I fall asleep, guys, don't worry, yeah, because I might fall asleep. You guys can wake me up. That'd be funny falling asleep on a live stream. Amazing. I can eat in another hour and 20 minutes. It's getting easier now. Most of this is psychological, if not all of it. This is, you know, it's a mental thing. Telling yourself that you have to eat when really you can wait a bit longer. That's why I've got such a respect for boxers, and the UFC fighters because um, they discipline themselves. There's times when they starve themselves to make weight. Oh, I love your question. We've got a new question there. You new to the channel? I don't recognize your name. If you are, appreciate it. If you enjoy my channel, you're getting a lot of value. Subscribe. Advice on a beginner workout. Sorry, advice on beginner working out at home. Yeah, I think home workouts are great. The advice I would give you is just appreciate it and enjoy it, and put some music on, um, and do some press ups and sit ups and body weighted squats. So if you've got weights at home, then work out at home. Yeah, just enjoy it. Just enjoy it and appreciate it. I love home workouts. I was chatting to one of my friends recently, um, and he's built a gym at his house, and he's got a membership in the gym. And I said to him, "Man, it's brings great memories for me because back in the day, when I lived at home and I lived with my nan, I used to do some home workouts, and I absolutely love them. So yeah, glad that you brought that up. How you doing, man? You all right? Um, just texting a friend, guys, on WhatsApp. I'm doing this stream. Thank you for coming on the stream. Like I said, apologies to everyone if I seem a bit grumpy and moody. I'm actually happy, but I'm fasting at the moment, not eating till 8 tonight. So um, obviously my energy's dropping a bit, but I do feel great at the same time. It's kind of weird. So you guys might notice a difference in me from before. So yeah, I want to motivate more people on the channel, not to starve themselves, but to be more disciplined, go gym, improve their lifestyle and diet if they want to, of course. I'm not forcing people. I'm not telling people that they have to diet, but obviously I'm a teacher, I'm a confidence coach. It's what I love to do. And if people ask, then I will help them. Yeah, home workouts are great, man. They are very good. There's a lot of value in them. I think it comes down to life is what you make it. Some people will say things like, and I get it. Like everyone's human. They'll be like, oh, it's boring working out at home. I don't have the motivation, or what do I do? And it's like you can do that to anything. You can make it depressing and boring just by your attitude. But if you're like, it's amazing. I can enjoy it. There's lots of things I can do. I can be creative. Then you have a good workout. I am going to do a video soon on, some of my favorite exercises and see if people on the channel. Do you find caffeine increases baseline anxiety? Yeah, it does. It does actually. It does at times. It can do it, and everyone I know says the same because I love coffee. Everyone I know says that they can have a coffee one day and feel fine. Another day they can have a drink of coffee and then feel extreme anxiety. So it can do that definitely. It does it to me sometimes. I'll have a coffee and I feel great. I feel relaxed, fine. A lot of times if I'm when I'm coaching clients in a session, I'm fine, and then sometimes I'll have a coffee, might go out on my own, and I feel extreme anxiety, and it's too much caffeine. But I think it depends on how much you drink, when you drink it, your personality. It's just one of them things, yeah. Exercises that I find that are good to take away anxiety are boxing and swimming. If you go and hit the punch bag, or you do a boxing class, after you just feel great. Even during it, your anxiety will go away. You'll be calm again. And swimming, I find if you go swimming, obviously I'm not saying just sit in a pool and do nothing. You got to do lengths, go up and down. So you kind of tire yourself out and you get into that mode of breathing. That makes you feel great after, or going for a run. Most of the things I find, anything sort of cardiovascular, aerobic, where your heart rate goes up, you kind of sweating, where you get your energy out. A lot of the times, excessive amounts of anxiety is where you just got too much energy, and sometimes the energy can trick you into believing that you're worried about things, or you're stressing, you're anxious. Of course, anxiety can be when you're worrying about stuff as well, but yeah, exercise for the most part will calm it down. Another thing that calms it down is, excuse me, having someone to talk to that you trust, that you can be open with and not hide and be vulnerable, a friend, a teacher. That really helps it. Yeah, that's very common. Yeah, that's very, very common. No, it's even harder, guys, right? When you're dieting and you're fasting, it's like food's everywhere. Like, Instagram's come up, someone who's followed me and their page has got all these nice meals and cakes. It's like, challenging, challenging, challenging. Embrace the challenge, change the mindset. My mentor would always say, when you're suffering in a positive way because you're not feeding your addictions and you're dieting or you're being disciplined, when you feel those emotions, say, this is great, this is the challenge, this is how I'm going to grow better as a person. Always been a big believer. I've always known deep down, or for a long time, that if you get your diet right, if you can, I'm not saying no one's perfect. I'm not saying you got to eat lettuce every day and tomatoes and salad, but generally, if you can eat healthy and be disciplined and control your eating and exercise regularly for like years, then you can achieve great things. A lot of the questions, well, in this stream today, you guys are asking me about relationship challenges with women. I know it seems opposite, but this is going to help you to deal with these things and be stronger and move on or deal with things better if you can control your dieting. Thoughts on meditation? Haven't really got any thoughts on it, to be honest. Just kind of mutual with it. Think people should do it if they want to do it. Great. Personally, for me, if you're asking me thoughts as in what I think, what for me, I think it's down to the individual. If it works for people, great. For me personally, I like to my version of meditation. I wouldn't call it meditation, but if you want to call it that, is exercising. If I'm when I go to the gym and train, I get into a really peaceful place. I also get into that place a lot of times when I'm coaching people, teaching, and I'm helping them because I'm present. I'm not focusing on me, my life, what I want, my problems, my goals, my desires. So it's kind of getting into a space where you are not in your head, you're not worrying, you're not thinking negatively or overthinking or obsessing. You're present, you're there, you're focused. And that's when everybody feels um, peaceful, satisfied, connected, etc. Now, this is true. I mean, this is common knowledge, but again, you only know what you know. I remember reading, maybe you guys know this, you can share your thoughts. I remember an expert saying online when you're fasting and you're really trying to not give into your cravings for junk food, drink water, and the water tricks your brain. It gives you the illusion, your belly gets fuller. And it's actually physically true. I'm experiencing that now. It's getting easier. My mood is actually getting better to do this talk because of it's a fact. Yeah, I was watching. I was really inspired by well, both Caleb Plant and David Benavidez. Big fight coming up soon, and I was watching a documentary on their backstories, and they both come from challenging places and become successful. And I was just amazed at David Benavides, when he was young, when he was like 12, 13, he was really overweight. He was like 260 pounds. And people used to take the piss out of him and laugh at him and make fun of him, um, because they'd see him. But when he got in the gym in boxing, he would kick their ass, and they would be surprised because looking at him, they didn't expect it. And obviously now he's lost all the weight. He's slim, well, he's tall, slim. He's an elite level boxer. And I just was so inspired by someone who has overcome that type of stigma and that any challenge. It really did motivate me. And also seeing that Caleb Plant, come from a poor family in America, lived in a trailer, and now he's at such a high level. So I found that inspiring. I don't know about you guys, but I've always been fascinated by human beings, people that come from a struggling place, and they've been made fun of or laughed at by people in their life, put down, bullied, and they overcome it. They prove these negative people wrong. More importantly, they prove themselves that they can do it. And of course, it kind of connects on today's talk, which is about discipline as a metaphor for improving your life. It doesn't necessarily have to be the discipline of eating healthy. It is that, but the discipline to overcome adversity, especially for anybody that's been bullied at school or made fun of in their life, or they've not believed in themselves. It never gets boring for me. The underdog, the Rocky story. So how speaking. Well, to answer your question, it's interesting because a lot to say on this. Well, um, in regards to your diet affecting social anxiety, I look at it like this very simply. If you're socializing with people, whoever it is, and you know you're not feeling good about yourself, you're going to experience more anxiety, right? Let's just say that you're with people and they are lovely people, they're friendly, they're trustworthy, but you don't feel good in yourself because you're overweight, um, and you're not happy with your body. It's going to affect you. So what I'm saying is, if you went to the gym, you lost the weight, or you just exercise for good mental health, exercising and dieting makes you feel good, regardless of whether you're with people or without them. So when you're in social situations with people, because you're fit and healthy, you feel good, and the feel good factor reduces the anxiety. So that's my experience with this stuff. Also, as well, anxiety and stress that people experience in social situations, that can be reduced with discipline, with the training, the exercise, and the dieting. Um, oh, that's great, man. Well done, Jimmy. That's brilliant, man. You feel better, right? When you go for a long walk, you do feel a lot better. Listen, man, I'm really sorry about the news you said on one of my videos. I read that, and I'm sorry, man, about obviously what you said. So I generally I don't know what to say in words, man, but I'm sorry about the obviously the loss that you had, that you said on one of my videos. But yeah, man, I'll send my blessings to you and my prayers that you can. It's a difficult thing to say um, when someone's at a loss, but yeah, man, so I send you my appreciation and regards, man. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, long walks are really good as well in this all this area that we're talking about today. If you go for a long walk, it does stop you from overthinking, and it is good for you. And you can do that with friends, and you can do it on your own. It's always appropriate. It never gets boring. You're from the States, right, Jimmy? I think we've spoken many times before. I speak to a lot of people on this channel, so I think you're from America, right? If not, I'm mistaken. Apologies. It's amazing what the mind can do, when you really put your mind to things. Oh, really? Delaware in America. Are you into the boxing, Jimmy? Do you know about the big fight that's coming up with Caleb Plant and David Benavidez? Not sure if you're into the boxing or not. Right, right. Yeah, guys, I don't know how I'm doing this stream today. I'll be honest with you, I've got no food in me. I've been doing the fasting, but it just goes to show what you can do if you push yourself. It's a bit of a mental and emotional battle right now. You're into the UFC mostly. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, when I hear the stories of like what the UFC fighters do and the boxers to make weight, it's just barbaric. But it's inspiring that some of them have got to starve themselves to make the weight, and just the suffering that they've got to go through. And a lot of bodybuilders do it. So I'm kind of experiencing some of that right now and throughout the days. And it's weird, although it is challenging. There's quite a high that you get. There's quite an intrinsic, satisfying feeling because you're putting yourself through something that's difficult that that a lot of people won't do. Sometimes you won't, and you're growing. You're getting the confidence, the success, the discipline, the mental toughness, as David Goggins would say, like callousing the mind, toughening the mind, overcoming certain limiting thoughts and beliefs. Awesome, man. Always like to see it when you guys talk amongst yourself in the group. But you guys are both from the States, right? Are you from Boston, Massachusetts? Awesome. Huh? The heating not on. Why? Because I got the hat on. Yep. Keeping myself warm because I'm doing fasting, intermittent fasting. So, yep. Yeah, Goggins is brilliant, isn't he? You're listening to him. How's your runs going, Brent? The running's amazing, man. Probably the most hardest exercise out there, one of them, and the most obvious one that most people just overlook because it's so obvious people know it. But how many people do it? When I'm feeling lazy, yeah. I don't think there's a better person out there than David Goggins in regards to motivation. Do I want to lose more weight? Yep, yep. More discipline and motivate and inspire more of my clients and people on the channel to build more discipline. Yeah, I've watched all of David Goggins' interviews. Always enjoy listening to him speak. He's so honest. It's refreshing because most people are not as honest as David Goggins, especially about their insecurities and their demons, and it's just refreshing, very inspiring. Like I was saying earlier, I'm always fascinated and inspired with anybody. They don't have to be famous who overcomes adversity and works hard. Um, well, it's more of an ongoing thing, Brent. I incorporate fasting and healthy eating, so I put them together. But today I've been fasting. I've had two coffees, so I won't include that. But I haven't eaten any food, and I've been up early. I went to work, did coaching, so I will fast. I eat my first meal at 8 p.m. UK time, so kind of doing it that way, and also reducing the junk food. So just constantly working on it and improving. It's very challenging, but I enjoy it. Some days is easy, some days it's hard, like anything. Is it? Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of wisdom in it. I mean, I had a good friend from America. I won't say his name because he doesn't want, he likes to be private, but he comes to England usually every year, and he does my coaching. We spend about 9 days together. We've got a good friendship outside of the coaching relationship, and he's done a lot of fasting, and he's a man of God. And I was always fascinated to hear his accounts of fasting and what it does for you. And like I said earlier, a lot of people might just assume, oh, fasting to get a six pack, to get muscles. It's like that's okay, that's fine, and that's nice, but there's a deeper kind of benefit of doing it, which is obviously improving your character discipline. And he used to tell me a lot about that when he was doing church and different teachers that he learnt from, and he would tell me about his experiences, and I was always fascinated by it. But you start appreciating, how lucky most of us are because we're not going hungry. Obviously, there's places in the world. I'm not preaching at people, but there's people that don't. They're starving. They might not eat for days. You can't really comprehend that when pretty much most of us have always got food in the cupboard. We've got access to food, so it starts to make you appreciate what you've got. Oh, we're over the moon for you, Jimmy. Hope it works out, man. That's the best news on the stream today. Thanks for sharing it, man. How did you meet her? If you don't mind me asking, you don't have to share if you don't want to. Was that in public, online dating for a friend, serendipity? Oh, it's getting harder. This. I'm just got to the hour mark. Overcome another limiting belief. All right. Yeah, as I said, man. Please God, good luck. I hope that it works out for you, man. Just to change the subject, tell me more about it. Have any of you guys seen the new Creed? I'm thinking of going to the cinema. I should just go and see it, not overthink it. Creed 3 might be really good. Don't know that metaphor, but I'm glad that you're laughing. Burning the ships. Yeah, big fan of the Rocky movies, but I wasn't sure what this is gonna be like. But sometimes I've learnt with watching films, it's best to not have any expectations and build it up. Then you don't get disappointed, and if you enjoy it, you end up enjoying the film. I had a similar experience with the new Batman. I sort of went in not expecting too much. I got it. I got it. I get what you're saying, Jimmy. Yeah, all of us, we've all got to be brave. There's always fears to face, especially with love and relationships. Like you said, you got to conquer that fear. Yeah, in a sense, it is death. Maybe not literally, but falling in love, risking being hurt, risking it working out. We've all got to face that, even if it's psychological. It takes a lot of courage, no doubt. You're definitely right about that. On both sides, for men and for women. Which is why, guys, you got to get on the exercising, the socializing, and the dieting. A recipe for success. Improve all your relationships. No risk, no reward, man. Wow, we're getting there. This is a bit. I'm kind of really resonating with some of the things that David Goggins has been saying about going into a place mentally where most people won't go, and that's how you experience connection or greatness. And it doesn't have to be, as he said, with marathon running. It can be that. It can be anything challenging, like doing a live stream now, inspiring, teaching, giving value to people whilst not having any food in my body. Part of me's hungry, don't want to be here, don't want to be doing this stream. Nothing personal with you, lovely guys. I want to be eating, my body's craving, but another part of me is enjoying it, appreciating you, and enjoying the challenge of teaching. Whilst part of me is really hungry. I'm just having a quick toilet break, guys. I'll be back in a sec. Let's do this. Let's go. Let's go. The battle starts now. Don't think about eating food. Don't think about hamburgers. Oh man. Most of us don't realize how lucky we are. This probably is a more boring stream than I've ever done because it's challenging to find the words and talk whilst in this state, especially as it's the weekend. So I don't blame anyone for leaving and not wanting to be here. But those of you that want to be here, you'll stay here, and I'm going to keep toughing this out. How long have we been on now? An hour. I could end it now. I'm going to try and push a few more minutes and just, as Mr. David Goggins says, take the mind into those places, callous the mind. This is starting to bring up some good memories. This is bringing up the days where when I was younger, where we didn't always have much money, you know. I'm not going to say that I starved and we didn't eat. My mum and dad always worked hard and we ate, but there were times where there weren't much food, there weren't much money. And these emotions that are coming up, these are, reminding me of those days and how lucky I am now to be in a position where, I've always got access to food. So pretty amazing what starts coming up when you start fasting and dieting and being more disciplined. I appreciate that, Jimmy. Spread the word, man. Jimmy says he wishes everyone love in their life. True fairy tale love. Guys, I might fall asleep anytime soon, right? So I'm just giving you guys notice. I can feel myself slipping into getting sleepy. It's been a good week, So I've worked hard, a lot of teaching, business, training, dieting, walking. Um, it's all kind of catched up with me. Hmm. Funny, Jimmy. Yeah, I think everyone feels like that. It's dopamine, right? Both for men and women. When you're in love, of course, it puts you on a high. Get your questions in, guys, before I start charging. I don't even have the option. I took it off my stream. I wasn't really interested in it. In the super chats, maybe I should. I should put it on. But yeah, guys, appreciate the streams now whilst they're free because you never know in the future I might put on the super chats. If you guys want to learn more, check out some of the other streams I've done this week. I've done a lot of good streams I did one that you guys might appreciate. It's a question I get a lot, and it was I'll show you. It was titled "How to Make Money and How to Attract Quality Relationships," and I share years and years of experience of how to do that. A lot of it comes down to discipline. So we got that. Okay, I'll go to lives. Yeah, done that one. How to make money and attract quality relationships. How to be more social with people. How to stop being socially awkward. Beat social anxiety. 7 new ways I coach my clients to build confidence. A lot of live streams there. If you're enjoying the live streams and you want to go back, you can watch them. I appreciate that, Jimmy man. Nice one. We appreciate you sharing that, Brent. There's some good wisdom there from your experiences. That helps everyone. You guys are great, man. You're very brave. I really respect that when anyone does that, where you open up, you share your challenges and how you're improving. Oh, 100%. Yeah, yeah. Love can be an addiction, as Brent was saying. Yeah, definitely. Definitely in my experience, yeah, because all the happy hormones and feelings that you get, it makes you feel good. Which is why they say it's good, it's important to that we love ourselves, and the most important relationship, though this has been quoted thousands of times with a lot was truth in it, is the relationship with yourself. But there's a balance of everything, you know. And that's what happens when you're doing this dieting and improving. You start feeling, you feel all of your addictive behaviors coming to the surface. And, my mentor, Jeff, I learned a lot from him. He would say, that's a good thing. That's when you can start to see what you're addicted to. And then you can choose to have the discipline to not feed addictive behaviors if you want to improve yourself as a person. Another great teacher that I really like and respect, is very genuine, very caring, is Dr. Gabor Mate. He's brilliant. Yeah, that's true. That's 100% true. What he said about any behavior that a person engages in that temporarily relieves pain but leaves the person worse off in the long run is an addiction. 100%. He's brilliant. I like him a lot. Another sort of rare person who's honest and open, helps people, and he's also honest and open about his own struggles, which I really appreciate. He's got a lot of experience, a lot of wisdom, especially in the area of addiction, trauma, and how to be authentic, how to heal, and how to be in the present moment. I've learned a lot from him. He's good. No, I've not heard of him. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I knew that about him. He's spoken about that in his talks. That's why I appreciate him because um, my personal opinion. Everyone's going to have their own opinion, but I think the best teachers for me and the most helpful are the ones that help other people, but they're also honest and open about their struggles and how they deal with things in a positive way. Ah, the underdog, you're back. Good to see you, man. Have you heard of apple cider vinegar? Apparently, a tablespoon of it in water can starve hunger during an intermittent fast. Um, no, no, I haven't heard much about that. It sort of resonates a little bit. Maybe I read it somewhere, but I like what you're talking about. Sounds in a good direction. Okay, that's great. You guys are giving me some great ideas for new videos and things that you're interested in, how I can improve my coaching and give more value. I've got a lot of ideas from today's talk. It's been great. Addictions, beating addictions, transformation, getting past trauma, courage, honesty, working on insecurities. Oh, great! I love that you guys are talking to each other. That's brilliant. Giving advice. Man, the more you start learning, the more you realize that how much you don't know. I'm doing pretty good, man. An hour and 20 minutes. Wow, did more than I thought I could under the circumstances of fasting. Need a toilet again. That's the only pain in the ass with drinking a lot of water is constantly got to go to the toilet. But it's worth it to be healthy. Gonna have another toilet break, guys. Right, back in a minute. guys mind if I take a sleep? That's excellent, Brent. Have you tried a 5-day water fast? I'm going to try it in a few weeks. That sounds interesting. All right, I will do. But tell me more about the 5-day water fast. What are you talking about? Having no food and just water for 5 days? Could imagine that's brilliant. Or I'm assuming it's that, right? If I've understood right. Right, right. Well, this wisdom, these truths have been around for years, haven't they? But the challenge that I have to help people improve and to continue to improve myself is to apply this wisdom. That many times we hear from our parents, or it's been written in books, or it's been said, and that's when I say, it's all knowing something in theory is not the same as actually applying it and doing it. Um, what's your guys' take on cutting coffee out? I did it for a period, and although I do really enjoy drinking coffee, it's like a treat for me. I do remember that period. I didn't miss it. Um, I don't know if I consciously did it. I just didn't drink coffee, and I was totally fine without it and energetic. Whereas now, I'm addicted to it. It's like it's psychologically is a relief, and I know most people are addicted to it. But there's a whole conversation on, is it good for you? Is it not? Moderation now and then's fine. Punishment, really. Again, I come back to balance with things. If you're giving up major addictions, it's great. But if you don't have any fun and don't nothing, then that can affect your mental health within reason. So a coffee now and then's fine, unless someone wants to give it up. That's fine. That's their choice. Can always be a sensitive subject, addiction, because that old kind of tell, if you give up alcohol and then your friends want to drink alcohol, people can get triggered and think that you're judging them when you're not. You're just saying you can drink, but I'm not drinking. And I feel it's very much similar to the world of self-improvement, that when you're in this mindset of doing it, you can connect with people, you love it, but if someone's not doing it, they can get triggered. I love coffee too. I switched to decaf for the evening time. Contains a good amount of. That's interesting. More videos to do on this channel. But the whole sort of coffee shop culture, in my understanding, especially in London, it's really come about in the last sort of I don't know, the last 5 or 10 years. It's transformed so many coffee shops. I appreciate you saying that, Jimmy, man. No, not at all, man. Not at all. Get it out, man. You're not just blabbering, Jimmy. I really appreciate what you're saying, and I can understand. Um, don't have the answer to that, underdog. Great question. Interesting subject in regards to is the coffee Italian imported French or I'm not sure about that. All I know is that there's a coffee shop on top of a coffee shop on top of a coffee shop. The whole sort of I don't remember when we were younger. There wasn't this whole coffee shop culture. I think it's a good thing because I love coffee shops going out. I did a stream the other day saying coffee shops are great for exposure therapy for getting over social anxiety. And when I do my coaching session with my clients, usually always take them for a coffee, and it's just a good environment. But I'm more talking on coffee itself. Everyone's opinion on whether it's positive, negative. Cool, multitasking, washing the dishes, great. Yeah, yeah. I mean, back in the day, I mean, down my local area where I grew up, there wasn't one coffee shop. Obviously, it was more common in the city centres of London or New York, but now they're everywhere. When I go down and I go to my old neighbour to see my mum and dad. I'm still like shocked that there's like a coffee shop, several coffee shops in places where you just could never imagine. So yeah, it's a big business, obviously. Yeah, of course, you're right. Yeah, you don't have to do coffee, you can do tea. For many years, I didn't drink coffee, guys. I always had a peppermint tea, which is a nice drink. And then I started going on to coffee. But yeah, people can drink what they want, right? You don't have to have coffee if you don't want to. I've gone on a protein shake date. Oh boy. It's a marathon, man. Can't believe it. We're an hour and a half in doing the live stream challenge with no food and me fasting and still being able to speak, teach, educate, inspire, and also have a conversation with you guys amongst each other. Pretty impressive. I'm always impressed as well with the discipline that the bodybuilders have, to get into that shape, to diet down. I've just logical transformation, the spiritual and the physical health. weight. I don't know. I'm excited about that, passionate about it. No, I agree with you. Yeah, like I think the true fasting is nothing, just water. But there are different versions. I suppose I'm doing the version which it isn't the hardest, but it's still challenging, and that's no food, no junk, no sweets, no food at all. Decaf tea, never tried that. Any good? I had a decaf coffee the other day with a friend of mine. It was pretty good, pretty nice. Yeah, I'm a bit similar. A lot of friends are. Yeah, 1 to 3. On average, I have about 2 coffees a day. Um, Occasionally 3. I don't really like going over 2, if I'm being honest. Unless I'm out of a friend, and we're having a great connection, and it just feels right, and it just kind of adds to the energy of the conversation. But generally, if I go over 2, I just feel too hyper. It's too stimulated. Everyone's different. But I come to the same realization as a friend of mine. He was saying that the coffee can help with the dieting. When you're craving to eat junk, if you drink a coffee, it kind of you feel like you're getting something, and then it stops you from overeating. All right, yeah, I get it, man. Yeah, I was working with a client, Jimmy. He was from Scotland, and we were talking about accents because I'm the same as you, and he was the same. He's a big fan of accents. He was doing different accents, and obviously our accents sound different to one another. So I get it. Um, Anyone I recommend? Yeah, there's a guy from across the pond on your part, Ed Basemaster. He's brilliant. He's a YouTube. He does pranks. He's got a big channel. You probably know him. Friend recommended him, and I love his stuff. It has me in stitches, which is a British term for makes me laugh. He's really good, good energy, good person, coming from a good positive place, which I like. He's very respectful towards people, but he's a genius at comedy, doing the pranks. So funny. Check him out, Ed Basemaster. And you guys are making me feel like a coffee right now. All this talk. Get on that apple cider, guys. Recommendation from Underdog. Okay, that's interesting. I've seen it. Yeah, you're right. I've seen it on an article somewhere about that. What do you guys find the hardest time of the day to not eat? I find the hardest time for me is the night time. That's where the cravings come. That's a pattern I've been breaking. I can not eat in the morning. I'm fine. I can go most of the day without eating, but when it gets to when it gets to this time and before bed, that's when it's really challenging for me. That's when the the patterns come up, the cravings. Yeah, I'm going to do more videos on the channel to help more people and talk about this more. The whole discussion today, we've kind of been talking about basic things, but there's a lot of depth to it with coffee, habits, diet, food, addiction, a lot of good stuff in it. I know a lot of people on this channel, that a lot on the stream right now, they would like to improve in these areas because I get questions, and obviously when I'm working with clients. But these are conversations that I would never open these conversations unless someone's interested because it can offend and upset people. So obviously, when I'm doing coaching, I'm doing paid coaching, people pay me and they give me permission to help them and tell them how they can improve. And when we're doing these streams and sharing, which makes you appreciate habits are the basis of life habit. Of course, toilet break again, guys. Oh boy. Let's do this. Yeah, I think a lot of people find it tough in the evening, late night. When you're watching movies or YouTube. I think it's different. Everyone's got different patterns, but I know for me that's the most challenging time. I've improved at it a lot, especially over the last, um, I don't know, the last 6 months, maybe less. But any negative habit can be broken if you really want to do it and you're disciplined and you set goals. To suffer, otherwise you won't. People often, we all do it at times. We get caught up in, oh, this is hard. I'm suffering. This is hard. The negatives, but we don't focus on what you're getting out of it, the growth, the success, your character, etc. Improving your finances, your relationships. So consequences of progress that helps you, gives you more strength and outweighs the suffering of what you're not getting, if that makes sense. Yeah. Well said. Well said. A lot of it is a lot of it as well can come down to a lack of focus and boredom and comfort eating. You know, the addiction to comfort, which is a huge addiction that a lot of people don't talk about. So, you know, if you want to be successful, you've got to come outside your comfort zone in every various different way. You know, when you're talking about social anxiety, you've got to get comfortable being uncomfortable around people, certainly for a certain period. And when you're talking about getting in shape and losing weight or being fit, you've got to get uncomfortable with the dieting, with the suffering of not feeding those addictive personalities, especially when they get triggered and they arise, they come on strong. Wow, is it? I can't believe it. I've almost done it. Got to the 2 hour mark. I can officially eat in 3 minutes or so. I could go longer if I really, really wanted to. Um, that's a good question. Got to think about that. How did I know I wanted to become a confidence coach? What was this decision making process? Yeah, it was. I think from a young age, I knew that I enjoyed helping other people because I went to a school where a lot of people got bullied. I got bullied, but I'd kind of stick up for other kids that were getting bullied worse than I was. So there was something about that there that felt natural. But yeah, years later, when I started listening to Les Brown, I started to think, oh, I like the coaching industry. And I suppose the decision was made more when I first started teaching. First client I had that I helped, and it just experiencing it, it just felt right. I was good at it. It come natural, and it got better over time. So the decision making process wasn't an overnight thing, as you said. It happened over time. But I'm a huge believer. This is just my opinion. People might disagree, but I think teachers are born, not made. You know, like the saying says in boxing, punchers are born, not made. And I'm not saying that someone can't learn to be a teacher. Of course, they can. You can learn anything you put your mind to. But I think some people are just naturally more empathetic. They're just gifted. And I meet people. I have it with a client I'm coaching at the moment, and I said to him, he just, in my opinion, he was born to teach. He has those qualities. He has that natural empathy for people and that passion to teach and talk and help people to learn. Where some people, in my opinion, they don't have that empathy. Just don't have the patience. They're not skilled in that area. Of course, they're skilled in other areas. Everyone's got a skill or a gift. So that's how I feel about teachers. And at school, when I was at school, there were lots of teachers, and some weren't very good, and some were really good, and some were just natural. Some people just have got a natural gift to teach. Right. What's the time here? Well, actually, okay, it's 8. I've completed the challenge today to talk, give value, and do this stream. How long we've been here for? Almost 2 hours. Wow, it's crazy what you can do when you put your mind to it. Especially under the circumstances of being hungry and cravings coming up and not feeding it. I have seen that. Yes, I watched some of his stuff, and it was brilliant. I was well impressed with his courage with that YouTube channel, Kurt Katz, where he travels through South America, different places, rough places. I did. I watched some of that, and I thought it was great. So yeah, I have seen that. Yeah, just thought it's amazing what he does. Always love those channels where people go around and interview people, or they go to different parts of the world. They face fears. Always admire people that do that. Always think, what courage. Thanks for coming on the stream, guys. I think amazing what we accomplished today, and I'm pretty proud of myself for doing this. Oh, is it? Oh, that's nice. Your mum loved Kurt Katz as well. Yeah, he's brave, man. He's got in so many levels, meeting new people, traveling to new places. There was one I was watching where the guy was saying that don't go there, it's dangerous, and he went there and he survives it. He does it. Amazing. Yeah, once again, guys, thanks for the support on the channel, for liking, sharing, subscribing. The appreciation. Um, really do appreciate it. You're welcome, Jimmy, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for everyone for coming on. That'll be it for today, guys. Great. Yeah, I hope that you got a lot out of it. I'm sure that you did, and it was nice that everybody shared value and things that they're learning. And give yourself a pat on the back. Well done, guys. Yeah, the journey continues. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you as well for also helping me coming on the streams, listening, learning, because I wasn't sure if I could do it today. I had to push myself mentally, being that it's been a long week. It's been great. It's been tiring. And I just thought, I don't know if I can do more than an hour because I'm really hungry. And I did it. We all did it. Awesome. All right, guys, man, have a great weekend. And I'll speak to you guys soon.